Hello, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the Daily Roundup webinar. I hope everybody's having a great trading session. Happy Monday to you. It's been a kind of a messy session. I'm so irritated. This market's really irritating me as we pushed right above resistance in the euro, stopped me out, and then it's come off. I still think that you got to be aware of the bull flag formation that has been developing intraday, but at the same time, it's also rejecting pretty key resistance. So really tough to make heads or tails today. Stocks continue to rally. One of the things that, in my opinion, that's keeping stocks elevated is this move higher in cryptocurrency. You guys probably know Elon Musk tweeted about Bitcoin, and so Bitcoin rallied quite substantially because of Tesla. I'm sorry, he didn't tweet about it. It was just people found out that Tesla had bought over $1 billion in currency. There's a really interesting article. I put it in the chat room. Let me see if you guys haven't read it yet. It's in the Wall Street Journal. Hold on. I think I have it right here. Let me see. Yeah, this is it. Google search this, and I'm going to put it in the chat box. If you guys didn't read it, it's some interesting information here. I'm going to put it in the chat box, and then you guys, you can find it if you want to. There we go. Oops, something like that. Yeah, but you can kind of read it. Interesting thing, and I want to point this out. Read this really quick. Okay. While digital assets are relatively new, a tour of financial history suggests similar speculative use of an industrial company's funds aren't, and they have ended badly. About a century ago, General Motors required a bailout due to the stock speculation activities of founder William Durant. In the late 1980s, widespread corporate speculation on Japanese land prices helped drive the stock bubble that eventually collapsed. And I thought that was interesting. When you take a tech company like Tesla, now it's already as speculative as it could possibly be. And then you throw in Bitcoin on top of that. It does seem like a pretty toxic mix. And I found that rather interesting. And does that mean we're going to collapse right now? No, but I think you've got to just be really careful. I think that's the point, I think of this article is you just got to be really careful with things. But yeah, Bitcoin rallying, has kept asset prices relatively stable, in my opinion. I'm in the camp that if Bitcoin starts to sell off, we really need to start paying attention to, how that affects equities. But right now, as it rallies, it's helping keeping stocks relatively bid. Now, as far as the dollar goes, I was looking for the neckline to be tested. I was actually going to put in a pattern and play on the, where's the dollar index here? On the dollar index, if we dipped down to the 90.80 to 90.70 level. Now, I also, you can see this marked up here. We could be developing a head and shoulder pattern going the opposite direction in the dollar. So that's, it would be a head and shoulder pattern against a head and shoulder pattern, but I tend to rely on the more longer term one, but that doesn't mean that we can't see, some further deterioration in the dollar at this point. The euro is holding up, but as you guys know, it challenged, some pretty key resistance today at, 120.60. Just enough to stop me out, like literally 2 pips away from stopping me out or above stopping me out, and it did. The Aussie really strong. I thought we were going to head over to the 77.25. I was gonna sell some Aussies up there. Didn't quite make it, and we have to think that, is this a false breakout of these highs? It could be. So just keep an eye on the Aussie if we start to roll over a little bit later today. Kiwi pushed above triangle or wedge resistance, but it's also struggling with horizontal resistance. So we got to keep that in mind. Dollar Canadian slumped a little bit, but we are holding, that spike low support, I guess you can call it. The dollar Mexican peso also holding support as we bounce right now. And so there are some some signs we might be pulling back a little bit in risk, but especially if the dollar Mexican peso firms up a little bit more. But it's just something that we should be paying attention to anyway. I just think that we have to be careful and cautious at this stage with the market, as it is. Let's see, dollar yen. Dollar yen was definitely under pressure today. So we've come off, and we might come down and see that 104.80, 104.60 level in the dollar yen, which may pull down some of the yen pairs. The euro and sterling crosses have obviously sold off, probably in part to equities being up today. Russell index is at all-time highs or near all-time highs. If you take a look at the Russell here, continuing to surge higher in the Russell. So we broke out all-time highs, and it's one of the things that's just keeping risk up right now. Also, one last thing I want to leave you with. So the dollar Canadian, though, let's continue to look at this. All right, here's the dollar Canadian, really just kind of consolidating. I don't want to read too far into it, other than it's consolidating. Same with the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona. You can say we are, I didn't want to do that, but I'll get rid of that for now. For right now, we are consolidating above that spike low. Look at crude oil. So crude is getting close to completing the AB equals CD move. You can call it a flag pattern, but I don't like the flag look, just because it was this is more like a consolidation, breakout consolidation. Just because I whenever a flag is longer than the pole, I don't really look at it as a flag, but I would say we are going to complete an AB equals CD, which will take us to the longer term 88% retracement. And you can see it here. Let's go over to the daily. Longer term 88% retracement is coming into play. And so because of that, and then also I believe that's a 261% extension of this move. The reason why that's important is because if crude oil does stop, what does that do to the U.S. dollar Canadian and the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona? Maybe those two will be currencies that will start to bounce. So anyway, just some food for thought there. Other than that, guys, it's hard making sense of the currency moves right now. I'm having a very difficult time putting two and two together. And when I have a difficult time putting two and two together, I tend to be very cautious, because nothing to me is making a whole lot of sense. And when things aren't making a lot of sense, I tend to, sideline myself, take down position sizes, and, just be aware of my surroundings and what's going on around me. I'm not super confident about the market and where we're currently at, but I want to start to see, other assets, reach for these, key levels, whether it's, crude, maybe gold or silver starts, breaking below 1800 or above 1900 in gold, something like that, that could really move the needle in currencies. But I hope you guys have a great day. I appreciate all you being here. I wish I was, that there are going to be these days, and there are going to be these times. The last 2 weeks, as I said in the week ahead video, they've been pretty challenging for me trading wise. I am struggling right now trading, and that's part of it, and it's not uncommon. And if I'm struggling to make sense of everything, you should be, especially if you're going, man, I just don't understand some of these moves, then just realize it's, that makes two of us or a couple of us. You know what I'm saying? Jason says, am I crazy for feeling like this market will never go down again? Yeah. No, Jason, you're not. I think we all probably feel like that at this point, which probably means we're closer to an end than a beginning. So, but it does feel that way, doesn't it? That's why I don't make sense of it's tough to make sense of it. It really is. Anyway. All right, guys. And Jason said, I didn't trade in the .com era, so this is new to me. And it is for a lot of people. If you weren't around 20 years ago trading the 2001 .com burst, this is how it felt. I mean, it was mania everywhere. Things were going up and you're like, whoa, why? Like, that doesn't make any sense. This is an interesting tidbit of information. Look at this. This is Tesla, right? Maybe no. Here we go. At market value of about 800 billion, Tesla trades at about 6.5 times the combined value of Ford and General Motors, despite controlling a small fraction of the global auto market. And Tesla lately has been losing market share in Western Europe to competitors, including Volkswagen, which has begun to compete aggressively in the electric category. The news of Tesla's Bitcoin investment eclipsed a negative headline for the company Monday about quality issues identified in the important Chinese market. So, these valuations are really, quite nuts right now. And there's mania everywhere. And why should you not be invested in the market at this moment? Because everything is going up and everything is going higher. And that's a scary place to be with the markets when nothing makes sense. And, that's why we really have to be careful. We really do. It is very reminiscent. It's not exactly like the .com bubble, but it is the same mania. Like, everybody's in it. Everybody's buying. But we can't deny at this point that the trends are higher in equities, and we have to respect that. I mean, the S&P is at channel resistance, but we're in a bullish trend, and the spigot's on, and the Fed is adding liquidity, and we're going to get, fiscal stimulus. Can't fight that, right? Anyway. All right, guys. Hey, good luck. People. I'm assuming things will make a little bit more sense as we get through the week, and I'm going to be here patiently waiting for it. So, all right. Thanks, Brock. Thanks, Jason, Richard. You guys have a great one. I'll talk to you in the chat rooms or tomorrow morning on Face. Thanks, everyone.